The Heart of the City Regina Downtown podcast series, episode 23. I will be your host, Dominika Denev, Manager of Marketing Communications for the Regina Downtown Business Improvement District. During this episode, you'll meet Holly Laird, Executive Director of the Regina Farmers Market. Since August 9th, 1975, the Regina Farmers Market has been an important role for our community. With its deep Saskatchewan roots, this year-round farmer-driven market offers both an open-air and indoor experience, dependent on the season. Stay tuned to learn how the Regina Farmers Market adapted to the COVID-19 pandemic, including the launch of their online store with pickup and delivery service. Today, I'm joined by the Executive Director of the Regina Farmers Market, Holly Laird. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Dominika. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm really excited to have you on here. I know you've had quite the busy few months here getting everything organized, so I'm excited to dive into this information and just share with our listeners kind of what's new and happening with the outdoor open markets.
Oh, you bet. I'm excited to tell you about what we're up to these days.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's get right into it then. And why don't we kind of give like a brief history maybe of the Regina Farmers Market in general, just to kind of let people know what it's all about?
Sure, for sure. So we are 100% community focused. We are a cooperative and a nonprofit that was our very first market was on August 9th, 1975.
Oh, wow.
So we just jumped over the 45-year mark, which is very exciting. Super deep roots here in Saskatchewan and especially in Regina. We're farmer driven and producer run. So we have a board of directors that's completely made up of our vendor members. And so, yeah, we're really interesting in that way. And we just really pride ourselves on connecting the community with local products and local producers. And it's an exciting role to play in our community.
Now, how long have you been with the Regina Farmers Market?
I have been with the Regina Farmers Market. I kind of have an interesting start because I did start as a vendor producer. So I started in 2015 with my business and was a vendor for 3 years. And during my time as a vendor, I was also on the board of directors and became really interested in taking it even further with the organization. So I accepted the operations manager position in January of 2018. So just a little over 2 years now, and been the executive director since November of 2019.
So lots of history, even the market and yourself. So I love it.
Yeah, I've worn a lot of hats, and so I feel like it gives me a very unique perspective from every angle.
Absolutely. So our discussion today is kind of going to explain to everyone what happened, right? When the provincial state of the emergency was in effect and, everything was kind of on lockdown and everyone was at home, and with the markets that was going to be changing and you probably didn't know what was going to go on, et cetera, right? So let's kind of like walk the listeners through what that process was like for you guys. And then with the Reopen Saskatchewan plan, kind of when you were able to actually reopen and what this is all kind of entailed. So however you want to go about explaining that, I'll let you kind of take the lead here and we'll go from there.
Sure, for sure. Well, we're very similar to many other businesses that, we're faced with a lot of uncertainty when COVID first hit. We're a year-round market, so we were holding our indoor markets at that time, and we're shut down by the public health order due to COVID, and just really weren't sure where to go or what was going to happen. But knowing that we play an important role and that it was important to keep the farmers market going, especially for our 45th year. So we have a very, very small team of staff. At the time we had 3 people, and we all just sort of came together, and the obvious choice was to move our operations online. And so we innovated our RFM online store. We did so very quickly. We launched within 3 weeks with our pilot project. And we did 3 weeks in April, just sort of trying to figure out how do we do this? This is unknown territory to us. What are we going to do? And, sort of perfected it over the weeks and officially launched the beginning of May and have had great success since. So that's been a really positive thing for us that's come out of COVID. And it's something that I'm not sure that we ever would have had the capability to do without COVID happening. So that's really exciting, and it's something that we're very proud of and that we are going to continue for the foreseeable future, because it's just an added service that we can give to our customers, and it's an added benefit for our vendors who come to the market as well.
Awesome. So how does the online store work then, Holly, for customers?
It's really slick. So customers can just come to our website, reginafarmersmarket.ca, and click on online ordering. Ordering is open each week between Monday noon and Thursday noon. They can choose from many vendors that are there with all the sorts of products that you'd be used to finding, like fresh produce and baking and honey and meat, all Saskatchewan raised products. And then the orders are distributed on Saturdays. So once you place your order, Thursday noon is the cutoff. Saturday, you can either pick up your order at Douglas Park, you can plan to pick it up at City Square Plaza, or you can have it delivered right to your door for $5.
Awesome. That's very cheap to have delivery too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And who does the delivery? Do you guys have a delivery service, or is it some of your employees that you have on?
So right now, so far to date, we've been able to do the deliveries with vendor volunteers. So lots of our vendors will come to our open air markets, and they'll vend for a few hours, and then they come and take a delivery route for us after that. So that's helped to keep the costs low. And then at times our staff members do jump in and take a route here and there as well too. But being able to have that portion be largely volunteer based has been very important for us.
Wonderful. So now the next step then to everything that changed would be the open air market. So how have you had to adapt this process?
So that was the next step for sure. So we got the online store going, and then we had to innovate again. And how do we run an open air market during COVID? So we put a lot of work into that plan as well too, with our partners at the City of Regina. We were talking almost daily with the Saskatchewan Health Authority about how to do it, and so we have. So we opened those back up a little later than normal. We normally start at the beginning of May, but we were able to open up ahead of our peak season, and had our first one on June 20th. And we've been having them every Wednesday and Saturday since.
Exciting. So how has the feedback been now with the new format of the open air markets from customers or even vendors who are there?
It's been largely positive. People are very excited to be able to access the products that they're used to getting. I can't imagine a summer in Regina or in Saskatchewan without having the excitement of fresh Saskatoon season, or, coming up right away, we've got corn on the cob coming is always very exciting. And I think people really appreciate being able to still access those products from us.
Absolutely. And where can listeners find the information about what vendors are going to be available at the markets?
So we always post our vendor list the afternoon before the market day. So we've got a market tomorrow on Wednesday. You'll see a vendor list later in the afternoon, both on our website and on our social media channels as well.
Awesome. And regarding the vendors in particular, is there anything exciting or just new in general that you'd like to share about the vendors this year?
Well, I mean, the ones that are there are definitely very excited to be there, bringing their best of the best. And we even do have a few new vendors that sneak in here and there, even in this weird year. We're able to bring their products to Regina.
Awesome. Now you did touch on one of the positives being the online store. And I know I've spoke to a few of our just downtown members in particular. And every time they're on the podcast, there's always challenges and positives. Is there any other positives or just specific challenges in general that you want to touch on and share with our listeners?
Well, I think running any event or business during a pandemic definitely comes with some challenges for sure. And we are a very small staff and rely on volunteers. So I would say at times it's been challenging to find enough volunteers to help us out, because we do need some extra hands to make sure that we can maintain all of the social distancing that we're doing at the market. And there is some additional setup as well too that takes some extra hands. So that's been a bit of a challenge. But I mean, other than that, I would say it's been overwhelmingly positive for us. Just it feels like something normal that we're doing, even though it's a little bit different and we've had to modify our operations. It's just something very positive in a very strange time that we're navigating.
And did you want to touch on the operations in general? Like if I was to head down to City Square Plaza, what I can expect or what the kind of walkthrough of the market would look like?
Yeah, for sure. So we do have two entrances and exits. One is at the west end of the plaza. So that would be near the Regina Public Library on Lauren and 12th. And then at the other end, you'll find an entrance at Scarth and 12th as well. So we do some work to limit the amount of people that are coming in. So when you arrive there, we'll give you some hand sanitizer. We're counting the folks that are coming in. And then once you enter the market, it's a one-way flow of traffic. So we're used to seeing the plaza really packed with people and people going all over the place, back and forth to vendors. But this year, we've got a partition down the center. So you'll go down the south. If you came in by the library, you would go down the south side first, turn around and go around the north side. Just really trying to help with that social distancing and the flow of traffic. So that's the main thing that you'll see that's different. The other thing is vendors are asking customers not to touch products on their tables and let them serve. So instead of having a bulk operation where many people are rooting through a basket of peas, the vendors are now serving and passing it just to limit the contact with customers. Definitely lots of opportunities for hand sanitizer. And masks strongly encouraged. We really would like to see every single person and vendor wearing a mask. So that's those are the main things that are different, but I think they're fairly similar to what people are starting to see everywhere.
And I know there was some discussions before and people had questions or were maybe some uncertainty at the beginning, but are little fur babies allowed again? Because I know a lot of people bring their animals with them.
Yeah. At first, what was the concern with the animals was that because we have limited space, that an animal might take up some of the space that could be occupied by a human instead. But we found that it wasn't much of an issue. So yes, please bring your fur babies. We're happy to have them back.
Oh, that's exciting. My dog loved it when he's gone there a couple of times with me, and he's huge, and I can totally understand the taking space for a human or maybe even two. They just get so excited, right? And they that just overwhelms people, or people want to touch them, and that's just, you're not keeping really socially distant that way. So
we've been able to set up the market in such a way that we haven't had much issues with social distancing or being able to keep that social distance. So yeah, definitely dogs welcome back.
that's great. And even this, the topic you touched on where people aren't allowed to self-serve, it's letting the vendors do it. I think that's even a positive in general, where you're maybe getting more of that, getting to meet who the actual vendor is, having a little discussion, asking more about their products, even though you may know, but just having that nice interaction where right now during the times we're in, we don't always get that much interaction with people, right? Because we're all trying to stay distant. So I think that's a really nice change just in general, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the farmers market. You're standing face to face with the person who, raised or grew your product. And I think that's a really amazing feeling and a really great way to connect with the community.
Absolutely. So is there anything exciting coming down the pipe, like anything else you want to kind of let people know or give a teaser about as we kind of head into the end of summer? And what does this look like going into the fall for the market?
Well, we will be staying out on City Square Plaza until, we always stay out till Thanksgiving. So our last market this year on the plaza will be on October 10th. That Saturday, so everyone can come and get their pumpkin pies and whatnot that they need for their Thanksgiving celebration. And in terms of indoor markets for the fall, we're just working on that plan. We're not interested in running an event unless we can do it safely. So again, back to conversations with the City of Regina and with the Saskatchewan Health Authority to see if it's going to be feasible for us to do that event. And I mean, I can definitely say that the online store will continue. So if we're not able to hold an indoor farmers market, you can always access us online. And when it's -40 in January, February, we're happy to bring it right to your door for you.
And that $5, people probably be like, I'll pay you 20, just come here. I don't want to leave my house.
Exactly.
I totally see that happening. I might be one of those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We can hook you up, Dominica.
Awesome. So where can our listeners follow along just to stay in the loop about everything that's happening or if changes come into place?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is reginafarmersmarket.ca. And we keep our blog updated there as well. We have an event calendar, so you can check on our market calendar for vendor lists or updates about specific markets. And then we have a very active social media. Our channels are very active as well. So you can find us on Facebook, Regina Farmers Market, if you search that out. Instagram is at Regina Farmers Market, and Twitter, Market Regina. So yeah, lots of ways to find us, and we will always keep it up to date.
And lastly, Holly, I just want to ask, is there any piece of advice or a moment of gratitude from this year that you would like to share?
Absolutely. I mean, if I'm talking about gratitude, I have to talk about our customers, our loyal customers who are supporting us and finding us and helping us to keep going. Whether it's online or whether it's in person at the market, it's just we couldn't do what we're doing this year without the support of our customers. So just so grateful for that.
Thank you. Well, I truly appreciate again you taking the time to pop on here, and I wish you well and just to stay healthy and safe. And I look forward to seeing you downtown at the market here soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Dominica, and all the same to you.
Thanks.